What's up everybody, and welcome to another Wayfarers East Heroclix tutorial, and today we are going to be talking about Knockback. Now, for those of you who have no idea what Knockback is, that is when any character makes an attack either close or range combat wise and hits with the roll of a doubles, then the character would generate knockback depending on how much damage is dealt to the character. So first off, we've got Manhunter, Grandmaster here, and Phoenix Force Cyclops, and we're going to be taking a look at their abilities and their stats, and we're going to see what it would take for Manhunter to knock back Cyclops. Now, if you'll notice, Manhunter has an 11 attack with a 4 damage there, and Cyclops has a 19 defense with Invincible. Alright, so in order to hit, Manhunter is going to have to at least roll an 8. But if he wants to generate knockback, that's not going to be good enough. He's going to have to roll doubles. So let's say he rolls for an attack, a close combat attack against Cyclops, and he rolled a 10, and I actually rolled a doubles for once, which is incredible. So he rolled a 10 and he hits. Okay, so we know that the attack is going to be generating knockback. So again, if we look at Manhunter, we know that he's got 4 damage. And normally, if Cyclops did not have anything that would reduce that damage or ignore that damage, then he would be knocked back 4 squares. But since Cyclops has the Invincible ability there, as you can see by that pink square with the 19, that means that he ignores half of the damage taken. So he would actually only take 2 damage. So because the attack generates knockback, he would be knocked back 2 squares. So 1, 2, like that. And that would end the action right there. So just remember that you have to roll doubles, and it has to hit. So if you roll double ones, even if and if we know about double ones, it's a critical miss. So no matter what, even if, let's say, Grandmaster had a 17 attack, you know, the double ones technically would hit, but because they're considered to be a critical miss, they wouldn't hit. So if the attack hits and deals damage, it does knock back depending on the amount of damage taken. Now, what if Grandmaster was standing here and Cyclops was standing there at a straight diagonal and the doubles were rolled? So we roll for an attack and we get 10s again, which is just insane. Because Grandmaster is standing at a straight diagonal with Cyclops, he would be knocked back in a diagonal fashion. Now, if he was right here instead of being knocked back diagonal, he would actually be knocked back straight. So the only time you're knocked back in a diagonal path is if you're standing in a straight diagonal with the enemy who is attacking you. Also, let's say Grandmaster's right here and Cyclops is right there. I'm going to adjust the camera here a little bit. And let's say they're there and Grandmaster does the knockback damage. Well, because there's a thing of blocking terrain right here, when Cyclops would be knocked back, he would run into that blocking terrain or run into a wall, and he would be dealt 1 unavoidable damage from that. Also, it's the same basic thing if Grandmaster was standing right here and Cyclops was standing right there. Because the elevated terrain right here, it'd be considered like a wall, almost like that thing is, or the elevated terrain is up, so he would actually bounce back into the wall and once again be dealt that unavoidable damage. Now, one thing to note, that whenever a character is knocked back into another character, whether it be opposing or friendly, so let's say that Phoenix 5 Magic is on the team, and if you can see Grandmaster back here, he's back there, and let's say he rolls for the attack, and he misses, but let's say he rolled double 5s again like we did twice in a row. He would be knocked back. He was going to go 2 squares, but since Magic is standing right there, his movement would end automatically. So anytime your movement intercedes with another character, be it friendly or opposing, the movement ends automatically. Now, one last thing. When a character is knocked off of a ledge, like this, so say he's knocked back and he's knocked back off of the ledge from elevated 2 to elevation 1, he would be dealt 2 unavoidable damage. Even though Cyclops has the flying symbol, meaning that he can run over red or whatever, he would still be dealt 2 unavoidable damage. Now, like we just said, anytime the character's path intercedes with someone else's, the movement would end automatically in the square beforehand. So if Magic is standing right here and Cyclops gets knocked back, he would go 1, and then he would stop because Magic would be in the square that it's occupying. He would stop at the edge of the ledge. It's almost like Magic is going, no, you stay on the ledge, pushing him back up on top of it, and then the action would end after that. Now remember, there are a few abilities that allow characters to do knockback automatically regardless of whether or not they roll doubles. Those are Quake and Force Blast, and so you have to be wary of those. And then there are also some abilities or powers that allow characters to ignore knockback, like Charge and Combat Reflexes, and like the Giant Size or Great Size ability. And so those are just some things to keep in mind when dealing with knockback. But that's basically how knockback works. Remember, you have to roll doubles and hit, and then it does knockback equal to the number of damage that the opposing character takes. So if it's somebody like Cyclops with Invincible, even though Manhunter would be doing 4 damage, it would be ignored or reduced down to 2, and so only 2 squares of knockback would be done. That's basically all there is to it. I hope you liked this video. Make sure you subscribe to Wayfarers East. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter and wayfarerseast.com. Without further ado, you have yourself a great day.